Hello, Tiramisu Labradoodle puppy families. We have your week 2 litter update. In today's video, we are going to have lots of fun as we discover, has your puppy opened their eyes? This is the most fun milestone early in the process. The first milestone was doubling birth weights. Everybody accomplished that last week. And now this week we'll see, has your puppy opened their eyes? We're going to give you an update, of course, on each of these little Labradoodle puppies. We'll give you an updated weight, give you a little bit of information about each puppy. We'll give you an update on Mama Labradoodle Joya and how she's doing. And then this week we're going to talk about important partnerships for your Labradoodle puppy. Hi, I'm Claire from Van Isle Labradoodles, and these Tiramisu Labradoodle puppies are thriving. Joya is just a joy. Really, she is. She is such a wonderful mom. We really don't need to worry about anything with Joya. She keeps her puppy sparkling clean. She's on top of everything. She's happy. She's eating well. She has loads of energy. When she goes outside, she literally is hopping around with excitement. The only thing that she would tell you right now is that she's bored. She thinks that this is kind of dull, sitting in here all day, every day, just feeding the puppies. She's really anxious to get back more into normal life, if you will. But she doesn't complain. She just takes it all in stride, and she's really happy when she sees us and we come and we hang out with her here. But she likes most of all when we come and we take her outside. So of course, Joya's activities outside are very limited. We need to keep her in as secure an area as possible, not in terms of her going anywhere because she won't, but in terms of biosecurity. We live on a rural property. We have lots of rabbits, deer, quail. We have a bear who lives not too far from us, and there's cougar in the area. So we're not worried about any of the animals hurting Joya, but what we are concerned about is with any potential diseases that Joya could bring back into the whelping nest. So we're very careful to limit how much space she has that she can move around in, and we try our best to keep that as protected as possible. Of course, we can't tell the deer and the quail and the rabbits where they can go, so there's always some out there, but we do try to limit their actual physical area. So that can be a bit boring for a girl because, of course, dogs get all of their satisfaction through their nose. So the most exciting thing for them is to be out and go sniffing. They don't want to just go out on a walk and walk like we do for exercise. They want to go and sniff everything, check everything out. And when you're in the same small area day after day after day, it gets a little bit repetitive and not so fascinating. But once the puppies are a couple of weeks older and their immune systems are a bit stronger, then we will allow Joya to go out the back and have free run of the entire 5 acres again. So the puppies, they have been thriving. You can see everybody's very content. We have 3 over here nursing, 3 over here sleeping. This litter is quiet. We do not hear from them at all. You would have no idea that there were any puppies in the house with this group. And why is that? Well, it's because they are well cared for by Mama Labradoodle Joya here. The milk bar is plentiful. She keeps them all content and cozy, everything going well. We've got an escapee here who's gone underneath Joya and in between us. There's your little boy there. See, I'm still stuck on Purple being a girl. I know he's a boy, but I'm still stuck on that because of his purple collar. You can see how shiny and glossy their coats are, and that comes from what they're eating. And what they're eating, of course, is all coming from what Joya is eating. Joya eats 100% raw diet. She's enjoying all sorts of little things to complement that diet right now. So on Sunday, for instance, for brunch, she had steak and eggs, and that was a raw egg combined with some of her regular dog food, and then we had leftover roast beef and flank steak from what we had eaten during the week, and that was her steak and eggs to make a little bit of a special brunch for her on Sunday. And I can tell you, she polished that off in no time at all. She eats fish, she eats duck, turkey, lamb, beef, and chicken. So she has pretty much every protein that there is. Later today for lunch, she'll have some chicken necks along with some salmon fillets. The salmon fillets are all wild caught. It's just like if you were eating salmon, except for hers is raw, so like sashimi. And then she'll have some beef that is a pre-mixed raw as well. So she eats very nicely. She does great. She has no problem keeping weight on. Her coat is nice and soft. There's no hair loss at all. So we know that she is also in prime condition. Now the big excitement is whether these puppies have opened their eyes or not. That's what we're going to want to find out this week, right, Joya? And we're going to want to know who opened their eyes first and what day did they open their eyes on and who doesn't have their eyes open yet. So we're going to go through the puppies in birth order when we give you all of their updates, but we're just going to leave that for a little bit later in the video. I want to let these two puppies to continue nursing here and see if we can't get Purple headed in the right direction, as he seems to be bound and determined that he's going to come and be next to me. We'll see if we can get him a spot at the milk bar. And then we will come back and we will go through each of our puppies' updates. Now, if you enjoy watching our videos, we really appreciate it if you post in the comments. That is so helpful for us. We hope that also you might find a moment to give us a thumbs up, and we sure hope you're subscribed to our channel so you get notified whenever a new video comes out. Now, for our families on this litter list, the next thing we want to talk about is choosing a vet, a trainer, a groomer, and equipment. You will get a video that discusses this in more detail. One thing you want to do when you're looking for a vet, these days a vet is very difficult to find. So you may not have all of your wish list satisfied because you may have to just have a vet who is actually taking new patients. If you do not already have a vet, please start looking for one right now because it's very important to have your vet on board and your appointments for your booster shots all booked long before your puppy goes home. So you may want to start checking around. For our families, please post on our private community page asking for recommendations in your area. Our other Van Isle Labradoodle families are the best source of information and recommendations for vets who meet the criteria we have in terms of our similar approach, philosophy, and being on board with how we look after our puppies and raise them. For a groomer, this is another thing that's really difficult to find and in short supply. So again, please start looking for a groomer. Another thing to ask on the community page, ask all of our families, where is your Labradoodle groomed? Where did you have a good or a bad experience? And ask them to post a picture of their Labradoodle. Make sure when you see that picture that that's the look you prefer. I'm going to tell you all about how to correctly groom your Australian Labradoodle, and you may or may not choose to use that guideline for your own dog. Some of our families prefer to have their ALDs look like a Cocker Spaniel by having very long ears. That's not the correct way to groom an ALD, but if that's what you like, then that's what's correct for you. I'm just here to give you the guidelines for how your ALD should be clipped according to the ALD guidelines. If you don't like those, you can do whatever you want. You can dye your Australian Labradoodle to have red and purple hair if you like. It's totally up to you. It's your dog. We will give you a full grooming guide in your documents when it's closer to pickup time. And the other thing is a trainer. Now this is a trickier thing to find. While vets are regulated in terms of they belong to a college, they have to have gone to university, etc., they have to be licensed, trainers and groomers do not have to be. There is no regulation in the pet industry, which is a shame. We are part of many committees that are working towards more regulations, guidelines, and licensing requirements for all of us in the pet industry to benefit everyone, and most particularly to benefit dogs. So when you're looking for a trainer, what you want to do first of all is look for someone who's familiar with Australian Labradoodles. This is where it becomes important to have someone understand the distinction between a Labradoodle, an Australian Labradoodle, an Aussie Doodle, a Golden Doodle, a double Doodle, or one of the myriad other backyard breeder type of breeders such as Cavapoos and things like that. So you want to ask the trainer what they think a Labradoodle is, and if they know what an Australian Labradoodle is. If they think an Australian Labradoodle is an Australian Shepherd crossed with a poodle, then you want to find a different trainer. An Australian Labradoodle is a Labrador Retriever crossed with a French Poodle with a splash of Spaniel. Now these dogs have not had any of those foundation breeds infused into their pedigrees for more than 10 generations. So these are multigen Australian Labradoodles, or ALDs is what I call them, because that's much easier to say than that great big long convoluted name. But it's really easy when you have an Australian Labradoodle to think that that's an Aussie Doodle, because Australia is Aussie, Labradoodle's Doodle. But an Aussie Doodle is an Australian Shepherd crossed with a poodle. That is an unregulated breed. It has no governing body, no breed standard. It's an extremely high energy breed. It is entirely different from an ALD, which is what you are getting with one of your Tiramisu puppies. Now Joya has just spied Raven out there. Raven looks like her arch enemy Anise, so she's going to go out and see if she can go out there and make sure that nobody's coming near her puppies. So we'll just pop her out of the box for a second, and then she'll come back in a minute and settle back in with the puppies again. This way you can see them all a little bit better. I'll put them all over together too so you can see everybody. You can see all the beautiful white chest here that red collar girl has as she's upside down, showing that off for you. There we go. Nope, you're back already, Joya. Come on in. Come on in. I can move over for you. So when you're looking for a trainer, that is the first thing you want to look for, because training methods vary by breed. Yes, there are certain things and certain ways of doing things that apply across the board, but there are methodologies that are incredibly unsuccessful as well as successful with Australian Labradoodles. Now, if you live on Vancouver Island, our assistant Taylor is a certified puppy trainer, and she usually runs classes up and down the island. You can reach out to her and find out information from her, because probably she will be running a puppy socialization class for this litter, and you can sign up with her. She, of course, has known your puppy since birth, and she is very familiar with Australian Labradoodles. The last thing is equipment. So why does equipment matter? What has that got to do with anything? Well, just like training, grooming, and a vet, what works with an Australian Labradoodle is different from what works with, say, a Doberman Pinscher. How I'm going to raise a Doberman Pinscher, the equipment I need for my Doberman Pinscher is nothing the same as an Australian Labradoodle. Again, there's general guidelines, such as you want to have a stainless steel bowl, regardless of what breed of dog you have. But for an Australian Labradoodle, you want one that is a certain size, a certain style, etc. The leashes, the harnesses that come with your dog, and how that integrates with training, how that integrates with our Head Start program, are all really critically important. And the main benefit from all of these things is, first of all, it's appropriate for an Australian Labradoodle. It sets you and your puppy up for success. And then thirdly, it means when you have everything integrated and following through from day one when they're born here to when you take your puppy home, the transition is seamless for your puppy. You reduce the stress on yourself, you reduce the stress on your puppy, and you can all focus on bonding. And that is the single most important thing you are going to do with your Australian Labradoodle puppy, is form that bond, build the trust, build the respect. Because once you have that, that is the foundation for moving forward to a successful relationship with your dog. Without that, everything crumbles. So that's why we started our Head Start program. That's our in-house training that's done for the week to 10 days before your puppy goes home with you. And that's why we have our Puppy Starter Kit, because everything we use in Head Start is the equipment that is in the Puppy Starter Kit. All the equipment in the Puppy Starter Kit is curated specifically for your puppy, your lifestyle, and also is what your dog is familiar with. So you can ask me more about that by just emailing me at claire@vanilelabradoodles.com, and I can talk to you about that a bit more. You can also find more information on our website. All right, so let's get to the good part now. That's all the business out of the way. Now let's get to the fun part, and let's go through each of the puppies and do our update. So I'm just going to bring up my app here on the phone. So I have everybody's weights from their 1 week 1 week weigh-in. Holy cow, that was hard to say. And as always, we're going to go through the puppies in birth order. And I'm going to start with our firstborn, who's over here, who's Red Collar Girl. Red Collar Girl was the one that I was showing you when I moved. She's got that pretty splash of white on her chest there. And let's take a peek if we can get Mama Joya to stop licking. Joya does have a licker she cannot control. And look, eyes. We have both eyes open on Red Collar Girl. Can you see them there now that Joya's out of the way? Open up your peepers there, everybody. Oh, yeah, and a big yawn too. Also show your big mouth and your blue eyes. All the dogs have blue eyes right now. The blue eyes will not stay, but puppies are all born with blue eyes. So this little girl, oh, thanks, Joya. She just got her to pee all over me. That's always so appreciated. Thank you. This little girl opened her eyes on day 12. All of the puppies opened their eyes on days 12. So there was not a first, middle, or last. I'm sure there was one who opened them, but very, very first. But we observed that everybody had their eyes open on day 12. And Red Collar Girl, 2 weeks, weighs 856 grams. Next, we have Orange Collar. Hello, sweetheart. Come on, baby. Hi, are you very sleepy? This little girl was the last one to open her eyes. That I do know, but you can see she's got hers open too. I'll just give her a little bit of a rub on her face here. See if we can get her to open them up just a bit wider. Oh, there's a big yawn. Oh, she's just so tired. She says, oh, I just have to just rest in my mummy's arms right now. Oh, and there's my doggy mummy. She's going to clean me up. Don't make her pee on me too, okay, Joya? There we go. Orange Collar Girl, who's so sleepy here. Oh, more yawns. Orange Collar Girl is 946 grams. She is a good size girl and just so tired. I just can't show my eyes any more than that. Next, we've got Blue Collar Boy. He's right here in front of me. And Blue Collar Boy, you can see before I pick him up here, he's got a few waves in his coat. So he's going to have, oh, and I've just got a puppy who's pooped now, and Joya's not in the box. So I'm just going to clean that up for Joya. There we go. We'll get that all cleaned up. We'll change this bed out after we finish the video, just to keep everything nice and clean for them. And I'll just get my little cloth here. Oh, and it's just giving me some more paper towels to do a little bit more of a thorough scrub there. Joy's going to be all upset that she missed that. Yes. So she'll go find the puppy who did the poop, and she'll clean the puppy's bum up, which is very nice. There we go. I got it, Joya. Not to worry about the carpet. Thank you. All right. Blue Collar. Let's get you up here. Yes. Come on, Blue Collar Boy. There's our boy with our pretty little waves. He's going to have those cute little curls. Oh, and he's being really cooperative and showing you his great big eyes. Look at those eyes. Oh, the whole world is here for him to see now. It must just be such an exciting experience when you've lived in the dark and all of a sudden it's like, oh, wow, there's all this stuff out here. Now, can they see much? No. Mostly what they're seeing right now is just shapes. That's about it. And so they're starting to associate shapes with smells. So they can already determine that my shape, of course, is different from Joya's, and hopefully I smell differently from Joya. And then they'll begin to associate, oh, that smell is that shape, that smell is that shape. Blue Collar Boy is 924 grams. Next, we've got Green Collar Boy over here. Hi, buddy. Can you come out for mommy? Thank you. And now we've got the biggest puppy in the litter, and that's this big bruiser of a guy. Such a handsome fellow. His eyes are open, if he's going to show them to us. Hey, you want to show us your eyes? I'm talking to them. They can't hear yet. Their ears aren't open. That will happen in the next week to 10 days. We'll just give them a few snuggly dugglies. There we go. We got them open. Yeah, you show everybody those eyes. Oh, such a gorgeous boy. Oh, yes. So this big fella guy is 1.066. That is a really nice weight. He is the first one to break the 1 kilogram mark. I always go to say 1 kilometer. He doesn't go 1 kilometer yet. Oh, such a kisses. Thank you. I love you too. Oh, such a kisses. So he's a really nice boy. Now, just because he is the biggest today does not mean he will remain the biggest in the litter at maturity. He may still be the biggest when you take your puppy home, but that does not mean he will necessarily mature to be the biggest. Equally, the smallest puppy, who is the next one on our list, purple collar boy, he is not necessarily going to remain the smallest in the litter. Possible, likely, but not a guarantee. Now, this little guy, his eyes are also open, and we'll just see if we can get him to give me a little bit of some expression here. You want to open up your eyes and show us, everybody? Oh, maybe not. Maybe I'm just going to snuggle up here. I'll try to just get him moving around a bit and stimulate his face, see if he'll open the eyes with one of his big yawns. He's very good at showing us his pink mouth. No, I don't think he's going to share his eyes today. Oh no. What? Purple collar boy is 695 grams. So he's quite a bit different in size from his sibling green collar, who was born right before him and is the biggest in the litter. And then last but definitely not least is our outlier little girl here, our little sweetheart, our little chocolate party girl, who has her little light tan spot here, which I just think is adorable. Her eyes are open as well, and oh good, she's going to share. There we go. You show everybody those blue peepers. What a pretty girl. And pink collar girl is 762 grams. So that is all the puppies. They are just doing fabulously. So is our mama Joya. We're so proud of her. Couldn't be happier with this litter. Just a really nice bunch of kids. Now, as I said, their ears are going to start opening hopefully in the next week, maybe 10 days. And once their ears and eyes are open, then we will make adjustments as to what they are having for space. They won't be in the whelping box anymore. Now, because Joya is so protective, we have to do a little bit of planning as to where we're going to put the puppies once they're old enough to move out of the nursery. Because we want to make sure, of course, that Joya is happy and okay in the doodle den if Anise is going to be sharing it with her. If not, then we have to figure out an alternative arrangement so we have a bigger space for both litters. So you can look forward to learning more about that next week. We'll be back next week and give you an update on whether their ears are open, and we will also start talking about desensitization. I really thank you for joining us today and hope you enjoyed the video. And we'll see you again next week for our week 3 update for the Tiramisu Australian Labradoodle puppies from Van Isle Doodles. Hi, sweetie, it's a good girl.